Joining me now is the Democratic Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi. He's the ranking member of the Homeland Security Committee. He's the former chair of the House Select Committee on the January 6th attack. Chairman Thompson, good to see you again. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me, Olive.
I'm sure you look with interest at what's going on in New York with with Alvin Bragg. But in fact, that's not what most Americans who are worried about the danger of Donald Trump are concerned about. They're concerned about the stuff that your committee looked into, the things you researched, the stoking of the insurrection. And while there's, as we were describing, there's a lot of justice that's being served, a lot of people who are being convicted, I kind of care less about the people who were storming the Capitol. I don't care nothing about them, but I care less about them than the people who designed that insurrection. Where are we going to see that justice coming from?
Well, I think, Ollie, we'll see that in due time. As you know, our committee looked very seriously at what went on January 6th, the perpetrators of it and all of that. And in our final product, we clearly put the onus on Donald Trump. He was the problem. He instigated it. He orchestrated it. And so rather than giving a shotgun approach to the problem, we single-handedly identified Donald Trump as the culprit in this. Our body of work refers to that. And obviously, as you know, we have shared a good bit of the body of our work with the special counsel. And they are in the process of calling some of the people who refuse to come to our committee to come before that special counsel. So I look forward to that body of work. We interviewed over 1,000 witnesses, and there's just a lot of work that our committee did that we now expect the special counsel to proceed.
What's your level of confidence in the special counsel being able to get material that you weren't able to get testimony that you weren't able to get? And tell me what difference it makes, because I watched all of your hearings. I watched all of your committee's proceedings. I came out of it convinced that Donald Trump was an instigator or the key instigator of what happened on January 6th. Right. What more needs to come from the special counsel that would lead to a prosecution?
Well, first of all, his is a criminal proceeding. Ours was a legislative proceeding, and so the bar is much higher for a legislative proceeding. And so I could issue a subpoena as chair, but there are ways that people can obstruct that process, and many of my colleagues did. The criminal process is altogether different. And so, as you know, right now the vice president, for instance, is being called before that proceeding. We wanted to speak with the vice president. We negotiated with the attorney, but at the end of the day, it didn't work. The proceeding would have required extensive litigation on the part of our committee, and quite frankly, we didn't have the time. So we have shared that body of information that we collected with the special counsel. We stand behind it. A lot of the work that didn't get shown in the hearings, the special counsel is now in possession of it.
Yeah, Chairman Thompson, I'm curious about the fact that you are about to find yourself on the other side of an investigation. The new House has decided they're investigating your committee. I'm curious about your thoughts about that. Do you welcome that? Is it a waste of your time? Are you at all worried about that investigation?
Well, no, Ollie, we stand behind our work. We had very professional people that we employed to do the work. Our committee, as you know, in its own right, had stellar members who gave of their time. Some sacrificed their careers to participate. And so what we have is a body of work that anyone could review, obviously, and they're in the process of doing it. But more importantly, as you know, some of the people who are now reviewing it had an opportunity to participate with the committee, but they chose not to. Leader McCarthy, now Speaker McCarthy, took his people off the committee and wouldn't allow them to participate in the process. So now we'll see what happens. But the fact that the person tasked with the responsibility was one of those people we identified as sharing and giving tours to the Capitol at times that the Capitol was not supposed to have people giving tours. So we'll see. It's part of this misinformation that's being put out by the Speaker's office and obviously with another network. So we'll see. We stand by our work as a committee. We feel very proud of it. I think based on the reaction that we've gotten overall, people saw with their own eyes what happened. And so it's very difficult for someone to say, well, what you saw with your own eyes is in fact what really happened. You have to listen to me so I can tell you what you saw with your own eyes. I just see the American people as being better than that.
Strange times we're in where that kind of thing does actually work on some percentage of the population. Congressman, good to see you as always. Thank you for being with us. Democratic Representative Benny Thompson of Mississippi is the former chairman of the House January 6th committee. He's the ranking member now on the Homeland Security Committee.